Okay, when I say the word Valentine's Day, do you think of roses, chocolates, teddy bears, flowers? What about the fact that nude men used to run around and hit nude women with goat skin? Valentine's Day brings up many ideas, but not many people think about the different aspects and the history behind it. Valentine's Day is very important in my family. It was my late grandmother's birthday, so now on Valentine's Day, we usually have like a dinner just to show each other that we care for each other, give each other cards and chocolate and stuff. Today I'm going to tell you some of the history behind Valentine's Day, the gifts and statistics on how much is spent each year, and then the history behind the rose because I thought that was very interesting. So today people think, when they think Valentine's Day, they usually think of it as a Hallmark holiday because all they think of it is that it's just Hallmark making money on their cards. But it's actually got history behind it. People call it today Valentine's Day or V-Day, Love Day, but it's actually called St. Valentine's Day, and that was dropped in the 1800s due to offensiveness of the church. The main story behind Valentine's Day was in 207 AD. There is a priest named St. Valentine, and back in the Roman times they believed that marriage wasn't important anymore because they wanted single men to go to the military instead of married men, so then they wouldn't have the families left without a husband. And so they made marriage illegal. And so then St. Valentine's Day was secretly marrying couples, and they caught him and they sent him to jail. And while in jail, he fell in love with the jailer's daughter, and they found out about that, and so they sentenced him to death. And an hour before his sentence, he signed her a letter, and he signed it, "From your Valentine," which is where they get, "Will you be my Valentine?" Many people celebrate it in February because they think of the Roman spring, which is actually February 15th, and that meant purification. And also on February 15th is the Feast of Lupercalia, which is where the goat skin ties in. They used to sacrifice a goat, and they believed that if they cut up the goat in little strips, like the skin of it, and tapped the women, it would bring them fertility, and we all know what happened after that. Its birth was started to become celebrated in the 1700s with feasts and proposals of marriage, and then in the early 1800s, small gifts were exchanged by children like dice, cards, little fun activities like that. The oldest Valentine still exists and is in the British Library in London, and it was written by, it's a poem written by Charles, Duke of Orleans in 1415, and it was to his wife, and they still have that on record. All types of gifts are given. According to History.com, approximately 1.9 billion cards are exchanged annually, making it the second biggest card exchanging holiday, and Christmas is the first. It gives Hallmark a bad rep because it is cards and it's such a big holiday for Hallmark, but according to the National Retail Federation, 15.9 billion was generated just this year on February 13th for Valentine's Day on gifts. Another gift is the rose. It's the big Valentine's Day flower. It started with the Greeks and the Romans, linking it with Aphrodite and Venus, their goddesses of love, and they valued it for its beauty and its strong, potent scent. I thought was really interesting is that each flower has its own fortune, and I got this from www.pearlum.com. So boys, if you want to send your girls flowers, you might want to know what they all mean before you send the wrong message. Red is for true love and passion. Pink is for happiness. Yellow is for I just want to be friends. White is for purity, and that's the bridal flower. Red and white combined is unity, and pink and white is joy and content. And also there was a long list of however many flowers you send, each means something. So like 11 is the love of my life, 12 is forever, 15 is I'm sorry. There's also some cool stories behind the rose. Back in the Roman days, in 207 AD again, there was a story about how bachelors would all pick one maiden and they would each give her a rose. And she would go through the roses and she'd pick out the one that had the most petals and the least amount of thorns, because thorns meant hardship, petals meant riches. and whoever gave her the best rose was her future husband. And also, there's a secret about, it was in the Roman time too, when men would put a wild rose that they'd get in the prairie and put it on a maiden's doorstep, and that meant secrecy, which is where you get the secret admirer from. So today I told you about the history of Valentine's Day, some of the gifts given, and the meaning behind roses. So I hope next time you think of Valentine's Day, you won't think Hallmark holiday, and you'll send your girls the right kind of rose.